Good morning and welcome to the first Homemakers Media Holdings webinar on working together to unlock the home improvement industry. This is the time for us to stand together to find solutions to allow this industry to open earlier. Today's webinar will be held in an open forum format, so we want you to join in the discussion today. To make this possible, we have three panelists. Ruben Lowe, CEO, and Estelle Robinson, COO of Homemakers Media Holdings. I am Johandy Slabber, the facilitator for the webinar. All attendees will be muted with no video during the course of the webinar. We would like you to use your Q&A tool in your toolbar to send through questions during the webinar, and we will make sure to answer and address all the questions today. You are also welcome to use the raise your hand tool, in which case we will unmute you and to allow you to ask the question to the forum. This morning's program will start with Ruben explaining what we would like to achieve this morning and addressing any questions we have received so far, after which we will run into the Q&A session. We will end off with Estelle giving us a quick intro to life post-COVID-19, addressing things like working from home, employee education, client education, and the importance of excellent service. Ruben, over to you.
Thank you so much, Johandy, and good morning to everybody out there. It's great to be in touch with the world again on this day where we are busy unlocking the lockdown. And the main purpose for this gathering on behalf of the industry and as an industry is to address concerns. And from the feedback that we have received from you, these are the main concerns for our industry. First of all, is every single person who's joining today and the industry as a whole, their concerns in terms of finances. How are we going to survive? How are you going to survive as an individual, your family, your employees, your colleagues, your business? So that is in the forefront of everything that we are doing today. And then coupled with that is how soon can we open? There's been a lot of comments where people say it's to a certain extent unfair and impractical, or it doesn't make sense that there are other industries that are open that where social distancing is more of a challenge compared to our industry, especially those individuals who have small teams and they go out and, for example, do landscaping. There's no reason why we should only wait until a much later stage before we can unlock. So that is the second concern. And then thirdly, that Johandy alluded to, is how are we going to keep on surviving, and not only through the lockdown and the unlocking, but thereafter. So please feel free to share your ideas, your thoughts, raise a hand or use the chat section on Zoom to engage while we're busy with this. Back to you, Johandy.
Yes, definitely. If I can interlude quickly, we definitely want, I mean, this is the idea that we have. It is a forum. We want people to raise their voices. We want to hear about your fears and concerns and see how we as a group can address that.
So let's look at some of the questions that's already come through, and let's see how the whole forum can add to these questions and help the other businesses that signed up for today's webinar, and we can benefit from each other's experiences. So the first one that I think we should address is, are people reviewing, re-evaluating and adjusting their business strategies, and how are they doing that? So how are you as a business doing that?
It would be great if you start using your Q&A session, maybe just type in a few words there so we can all just see what it is that you guys are doing. I know we as a company has done several things. Ruben, maybe you can start on that and I will pitch in.
Yes, so over the past 3 years at Homemakers, we've really focused a lot on becoming a cloud-based company where our CRM systems, our accounting systems, even the way we deal with our sales teams, etc., are completely cloud-based, and we use several tools out there. The one that we've been used the most extensively is WhatsApp groups for our sales teams and to discuss what's happening and what leads are coming in. Over and above this, we've also realized that we need to prepare ourselves digitally for the future as well. There's no reason why this might not happen again in the future. and we should gear ourselves and set ourselves up so that we can do this. The other thing that we have to do is we need to realize that we are in a new economy. I attended a seminar with a gentleman in the States who basically said that we have moved into a war economy. Now, if I can describe that, it doesn't mean that we are at war, but it just means that the economy has changed similar to economies post-World War I and World War II. And the main thing that you need to do in a post-war or a war economy is to ask yourself, what are the needs out there? And what skills and tools and products do we have or do we need to be able to meet those needs? And from HOMEMAKERS' side, what we are looking at is we realize that as an industry, you still need to market yourselves, and you need to let people know what services and products you have, but cost is an issue. Everybody's budgets are very, very tight at the moment. So we've come up with some very cost-effective ideas. But that's not the purpose for today's webinar. Why I've mentioned this is to challenge everybody out there to reconsider what products you have, what services you have, what you need to tweak or change that will meet real needs out there in the market.
Exactly, and how you communicate with your clients as well. One of the things is you do have a database, so this is the time to actually work that database and to build your pipelines. We know that this is one of the big things that will get you through this, and that is actually the sales that you're able to do during this time, and also the way you communicate with your clients during this time. In our company, we always use the word, your pipeline is your lifeline, and definitely at this stage it is. Look at, I think we all had a bit of an adjustment during the lockdown period, and then we went from surfing and looking at a lot of stuff. We started reassessing everything we did. That's definitely something we do. We were very fortunate that we were set up in such a way that we can actually work right through. Our whole company, like Ruben said, is mobile. Even our switchboard is mobile. Everything that we could do at our office, we were able to do from home. But there were still some things that we had to reassess and had to see how it is that we communicate, and also think of how it is that you communicate with your clients. We use WhatsApp quite effectively. We use video quite effectively. And this is the time to think out of the box. This is the time to say, how can I actually reach those clients that I have been building up over the last couple of years, people that I have been doing business with? Look at the people that you were going to quote in June, July, or say, speak to me later in the year. And now it's the time to reach out to them, and maybe not just to sell, but just to be top of mind. Being top of mind is such an important thing. So once they start looking and once they are ready to buy, that you are there and you're available for them.
Yes.
Sorry, Yandi, one of the comments there is that it's a unique opportunity for smaller companies to compete with the larger, better known suppliers. Basically, this is a reset that's taking place, and everybody is starting on the same foot. To a great extent, that really is the truth. We need to understand that we have to let go of our understanding of business in terms of how it used to be. And we need to be flexible and adapt to where we are. And that will be challenging, because the human nature is to want to go back to what you're comfortable with. But if you embrace the fact that we are moving into different times, it can be very exciting, and there can be great opportunities. We've just seen from our side that for years we've been strategizing and talking about certain things that we need to do and we want to do. And we did start pursuing those objectives, but not as passionately as we have done over the last 4 to 6 weeks. So this is really forcing everybody out there to say, well, now's the time. It's a reset. That what you wanted to do, that new product, that new idea of yours, that new approach that you've got, now's the time to get going with that and to make it happen.
Yeah, and it certainly isn't a rosy experience. I mean, it's painful. If you think of what a worm goes through to become a butterfly, it is a painful experience, you know. So, and it's also okay to have those moments where you go like, oh, I just don't see it. But I mean, when we face with difficult situations, we have 2 options. The one is that you can go sit in the corner and slightly rock yourself. And the second is actually to get up and actually start doing it. you know, think out the box and put your creative thinking cap on. I mean, we all know that that is one of the things that sets us apart from so many other people and from AI and machines that will take over. And that is our creativity and the way that we can think out of the box. It's very true what you said, Ruben, is that we now have to be a solution. So people are going to have problems, and what we are going to have to be is the solutions to those problems. So think in your industry and in your sphere of what it is that you do. What problems do people have in this time, and how can you fix that problem?
It makes me think of a book that I read a couple of years ago with the title A Whole New Mind. And it talks about what industries or skills will be the most important in the future. You mentioned AI. Of course, that's going to, I think AI is going to grow even more exponentially now than before, because the digital world is carrying on untouched. But the things that will differentiate us as an industry and as human beings from AI are the following. The first one is storytelling. Only a human being has the ability to take words and translate it into an amazing story. Now, you might think, what's that got to do with what you're talking about today? It's got everything to do with it, because when you have a lead and a client phones you, your response to that lead is, and whether it's going to be successful or not, is your ability to be able to tell a story about your product, about your service, about why it adds value to the people or to the public out there. The second thing that differentiates us is design. This is a great opportunity to focus on design skills. The third one is symphony, and that is the ability to take a lot of things that's going on around you, a lot of different industries, and pull them together and create something completely new that an AI would not be able to do. Empathy is something AI cannot do. And in a time like this, I think more than ever, when you speak to your potential clients out there, have empathy with what they've gone through. We've all gone through this. We're all facing the same challenges. And this empathy is really something to show people that we are not against each other, but on the same side. And then interesting, the final thing that differentiates us from AI is our ability to have a spiritual connection. So let's use these things that makes us unique as human beings and creative beings. This is the time to be creative.
Definitely.
One of the other questions that's come through, and I know you have touched on some of these questions answers, but I'm going to go through them anyway. Oh wait, there's one that just came in live, so let me answer that one. With regards to opening up, what regulations do you anticipate we need to follow?
I'll just repeat that, Johanni, I didn't get that.
With regards to opening up, what regulations do you anticipate we will need to follow?
Before we speak on that one, are there any people out there who would like to raise a hand or who would want to be unmuted and give us your feedback? Right, while we wait for that, we've thought of some ideas, and we've received some feedback via email as well, that we want to get together and lobby as an industry and put together policy and set up meetings with government to motivate why we can be unlocked sooner. And some of the ideas that we've got, first of all, is compulsory employee testing, which speaks for itself on a daily basis before you go to a client, to make sure that you go through the testing protocols to ensure that your team is, as far as possible, healthy. Second area that everybody's obsessing about is sanitizing. So how will you sanitize your equipment? For example, if you go into somebody's house and you're doing a plumbing job there, or electrical job, or they're refurbishing the kitchen or tiling, what are you doing in terms of your equipment, your vehicles that you and your team are traveling in, and the client's homes? One idea, for example, would be if you are doing a bathroom revamp, to seal off the bathroom with a piece of plastic, and for that area only to be opened a day after you've left and you've sanitized the area. By doing that, you're protecting the people living in that house. Also, what we are going to focus on is what company policy would we need in a time like this. This is what we would like to present to government. And also, where do we need to adjust our health and safety policies, and what training will be given on that and how often. Also, interactions with clients. What do you do when you get to a client's house? How do you greet each other? How do you practice best protocol in terms of social distancing? And then also, what existing bodies do we have in the industry to join forces so that we can have a critical mass when we do approach government to motivate why we should unlock sooner? And then things, for example, break it up into sizes. So if you've got a team of 5 or less, or 10 or less, or a team of 15 or less, are there different protocols that needs to be followed there? And something that I think everybody needs to start doing is to start pushing for immunity tests. I know that in Germany they are doing that, where they test people for immunity, basically meaning somebody's been exposed and they've proven to beat the disease, and now they've got immunity. And once you've got immunity, then basically there's no threat for you or others anymore.
I think one of the key things as well that we as an industry needs to learn as well is communication. That is communication to our staff, and often we as the owners will not be the people on the front line that actually deals with the clients. So it's very important that staff are trained in the way on how to speak to clients and what are the right protocol to follow. The next thing is also speaking to your clients, because they might be concerned that you're coming into their home and what it is that you're going to do in their house. So it's very key that you, in a very nice and clear way, indicate to them, this is the protocol we follow, this is how we check our staff, and take them along the way so they also have ease of mind. That we're not just pushing from us as an industry, but we also get pushback from the consumers, from people out there that say, we need these people to come out to our homes. We can't wait for level 2 for them to come out. We actually need them sooner than later. We're going into winter. There's a lot of maintenance work that we need to do. There's a lot of stuff that people need done at their homes that we cannot wait for anymore. And one of the good things is that the stores are open now. So the Builders Warehouse, Chamberlain's, those kind of stores. So it also takes us one step closer to this process.
Thank you for reminding us, Estelle. The one thing that we've done in terms of that, to get the general public out there to start rooting for the home improvement, home services, home decor, and home appliances industries, is a, it's not a questionnaire, we had
petition.
A petition that we've drafted, and we can reshare that information on this group as well. So please take that petition, send it out to your friends, to your family, send it out to WhatsApp groups,
to
previous clients. Ask them, please guys, help us. We've helped you in the past, help us to get this industry open as soon as possible. That petition will also strengthen our mandate to be able to go to government and say, come on, let's open this industry a bit sooner.
Yeah, what we want to do, especially with this communication, this petition that we're drawing up, is to say that we are self-regulating. These are the things that we will do as an industry to safeguard our staff, to safeguard our clients. So we want to be proactive in this step. We contribute a large chunk to the economy of this country. And we believe that it's important for us to start communicating and to start doing business as quickly as possible.
Yes, I've just shared the link of the petition again in the chat box. We will also share it after the webinar. We will send out another communication just confirming where you can need to click to sign up for this petition. We need to reach 10,000 signatures to really make an impact. So we need you guys to share it.
And what are we standing on more or less at the moment, Johandy?
In a short period of a day and a half, 2 days, we've reached 1,300 signatures.
Great. So if we continue this this trajectory, we should be able to get to that 10,000 mark. As soon as we get there, then we can really move things forward and start lobbying.
We have a voice.
Yeah, we've got another question that came through.
Yes.
So Brian Null is asking, what changes has HOMEMAKERS made? What changes has HOMEMAKERS made to any of our products to assist existing clients and possibly previous clients?
That's a good question. Estelle, do you want to answer that, or shall I start?
Sure, I'll start. Well, first of all, obviously, there are two legs to our business. The one is our publishing leg and the other one is our events leg. On our publishing leg, the moment we realized that we couldn't go to print when the printer said they had to close the printing works, we immediately took our products digital. So during April and May, our products are being distributed digitally, and actually tomorrow, our May issues will hit the streets, the email boxes and the WhatsApp groups, and that will be distributed during this time. We also, just before lockdown, we were busy relaunching our website, looking at new products that we can do. And we did a soft launch the day before we went into lockdown. And then we went into overdrive to actually finish that website and create a digital opportunity for our clients. So on there's a whole host of products that you can actually look at, a lot of free products that you can look at to actually be part of our team. And then on the eventing side, obviously we were the first to feel that with gatherings of 100 and more that we can't do. We're currently looking at other ways of how we can take that digital and what it is that we can do just to give you that exposure. So our team has been working non-stop, flat out throughout lockdown to actually see what it is we can do and developing new products that we can bring to market. And I'm sure that your accounts executive will be in contact if they haven't been yet to explain all the new products that we've launched in this time.
Thanks, Estelle. If you can also just share our two website links on the chat as well. So what we've done, we've really made our business to consumer website a lot more consumer friendly, a lot more practical, a lot more interactive. We've also made our online publications fun. So it's not just something that you page through, but it's interactive. There's hyperlinks and interesting articles and content. We've listened to the need for you, our valued clients, that our products need to have more content, but the market is also looking for more content. So you'll pick up that there's a lot that's being done in terms of content. And then thirdly, we've got a new lead generation idea and cost-effective lead generation idea for you, our clients, that we will tell you more about in the near future. But basically what we are wanting to help you with is to start generating leads now while people are in their homes. There's not a better time for lead generation than this lockdown, because everybody is forced to be in their homes. Everybody is aware of that broken tile, or they need to fix that basin, or the gutters are in a terrible state, or they'd like to do something at the pool or in the garden. So we've got an idea that we're very excited about, a very practical idea that will assist with lead generation and basically moving towards, you can almost say, a Google AdWords approach combined with a call center. So we're quite excited to share that with you in the next couple of days.
Okay, we've got one more comment. This person, Marius, is saying it's also not the time to moan about the lockdown and the stress you had to go through. Be positive and sell with excitement. Don't use a desperate approach. It's nice, positive input there. Another question that we can also look at is, what training are businesses providing to employees at this time?
Yeah, so we can't answer that question. We're not sure what all of you are doing out there, but what we would like to do is to get a minimum standard set up for our industry in terms of what should be done. Of course, training goes through all sectors of your business. You've got the training in terms of your actual teams who have interaction with clients, but there's also a training that needs to be done with your sales team. How do you need to sell differently? How do you need to approach your clients differently? And what I would like to mention at this stage, we'll do a quick run through in a minute or so, that these type of resources we are going to place on our business to business website. So I've touched on the business to consumer website, but we also have an industry website that's B2B. And on that website, there's a section about resources, and that's where we're going to share information on training and on what we've discussed today, for example, and anything that we find can be of practical relevance to you.
Yeah, I actually want to do a drum roll here because we're actually using this forum to launch this website. So it's gone live this morning, and you guys are the first ones then to see this brand new website that is aimed at business owners in this industry. And as Ruben said, that it will be jam-packed with resources.
Well, I think while we're there, let's quickly share that screen with you.
Before we do that, maybe there's another one or two questions that I would like us to address. There's someone asking, some webinars and classes exist in the new ways to teach our sales forces. So, Sandrine, would you like to share any of those webinars with us? Do you know, are they existing, or are you asking us, do we know? Maybe if you can just give us clarity on that. And then there's another question, how are businesses keeping in touch with clients? Which is very important. Estelle did touch on this earlier in terms of using WhatsApp and using email. Is there anybody else who are communicating really successfully to their clients at this point that you can share?
Yeah, look, and one of the age-old tools that is really handy is the good old newsletter. And that newsletter doesn't have to be a professional newsletter. It could just be a message from you to your past clients or to prospective clients to say, hi, here I am. This is what I've been doing during lockdown. We're still busy. We've been planning. Do you have any needs that we can do? We can talk around this now. Are there any advice that I can be giving you? And this could be, if you've got email addresses that you can send out to people, you can do that. If you have, of course, their cell phone numbers, you can do that via WhatsApp and send that out to them as well. Or if you're fortunate enough to have a proper tool, like, for example, an email tool that you can use, to use that and to keep on communicating to those clients. It's important that your website, of course, is up to date at this time as well, and that your contact details are available on there. If you don't have your cell phone number, we would suggest that you do that, so people do stay in touch with you. And then obviously that you are contactable on other avenues, like, for example, our website, where you can have a listing and all your details could be on there so people can actually get hold of you.
Yeah, and also don't forget the age-old telephone. Just give somebody a call. Just say, how are you doing? A lot of people are moving more towards that now. After lockdown, they've been thinking a lot about their values as human beings, and more people are placing value on the things that matter, and that is that one-on-one communication. So give somebody a call. Give a client, your key clients, a call and say, how's it going? How are you guys holding up? Are you okay? This is just a call to see how you're doing. That will always be remembered.
Yes, I've actually found in this time that people are taking phone calls, you know. And a while ago, we said, well, nobody's taking any phone calls anymore, but people are taking phone calls. And it might not be a call to sell. It might just be a call to say, hi, I know we spoke just before we went into lockdown about a need you have. I just wanted to say that I still have you. We will address it the moment I can. Maybe you can send me a video. I can have a look at it, or maybe send me an email or a photo of the problem, and I can look at a quote for you in the meantime, provided that I need to come out and actually do a physical quote once we can see the product again. But yeah, keep touch. I think people appreciate it.
Yes, well, there's another comment that just came through while you were talking about the phone call, how important it is, from Bonnie saying, with people being in lockdown and isolation, I'm finding that clients are appreciating the good old-fashioned phone call. They appreciate that it's personal and that you're making the effort to actually talk to them.
Yeah,
so
I think
that's
at
very
this
nice.
point, it's also important to actually speak to your sales force. Many of you do have salespeople that are reaching out, and this is an ideal opportunity for them to build relationships with those clients. You know, we know that what is going to bring us through this, and once we get through here, is our sales force and how we sell after this. And people are not looking at a hard sell in this stage. People are looking more at a softer sell, and they want to know that you are concerned about them, as Ruben said earlier, as well as that storytelling and the content. And share a little bit of yourself. I mean, we're all in this together. I mean, it's the first time in history that we all are experiencing actually the same pains.
I see some comments there. A question there is, will homemakers help us promote our opening specials and promotions on the new websites? It's very important. I like the fact that you're already thinking about opening specials. That's very exciting.
Definitely.
And I think everybody should consider that. What is your opening specials once the lockdown and the unlocking is over? So that's something very practical to work on. And of course, we will help wherever we can. We've always been in the business of creating leads, and we've always been in the business of connecting you with your customers. So absolutely, yes. I also see there that many webinars are proposed on a subject, or propose a subject of chambers of commerce, sales motivators, LinkedIn, for example, universities. I think that's very important. And I'm going to ask the HOMEMAKERS team also to make contact with the chambers of commerce and universities so that we can get their feedback and support as well, and suggestions in terms of how we can unlock as soon as possible. And maybe let's become proactive. Let's start thinking beyond unlocking. Let's get universities, your postgraduate students, to maybe start doing research on what a person can do post a global pandemic like this for business to survive, and maybe specifically the South African home improvement industry.
Definitely, that touch on something that I definitely feel I'm passionate about, and is actually relooking how we're living. We know that the way we've lived has changed now, and we know that the big office buildings that there were is not going to be there going forward. We've all proved that we can work very successfully from home, and it's actually caused a lot of side effects. I mean, we've seen what nature's doing. We've seen what it does to our pockets, not to drive that much and to drive that far anymore. There's a big saving there as well, so that money could be put to better use. But that also means that we all now have to create a space at home where we can work from. We're going to live differently. People are going to exercise at home for a long time now. It's going to take a while for us to get back to the gyms because we're not going to feel as safe there as we did before. So these are all opportunities for us in this industry. We're all about home. We're all about improving homes. We're all about making it better at home. And people are going to start looking with fresh eyes to their homes. And this is now the big opportunity for us to actually change that. Another passion of mine is the type of service that we deliver. We're not going to get away with shoddy service anymore. We're going to have to be exceptional. As much as you're going to have to advertise and market your business on different platforms, you're going to have to deliver such a business that people are going to want to promote your word of mouth to their friends and to their clients and to other people. So gone are the time where we can just brush it off, not communicate properly with our clients, maybe speak down to them. Now is the time where we're going to actually say, this is who I am, and you can actually judge me on the last job I did in your home. People are going to be very picky on who they bring into their homes, and you're going to have to come with all the right credentials, and you're going to have to do an excellent workmanship. People are not going to have a lot of money going, so they're going to vote with their hard-earned bucks by paying you in that, and you're going to have to deserve that. So there's going to be a lot of work, I believe, in and amongst us in our industry to improve our services. Another big thing is we're going to have to see more collaborations between clients. We're going to have to see how people take hands and actually, this is not the time for competition anymore, but co-opetition, you know, where we work together. If you are with a client and you do see there's another need, actually promote another service provider and say, I've worked with this company, and this is the type of work that they do, and I can actually also put my name to it and say I can promote this person. And I think once we start taking hands and we start networking in such a way, this is when we're going to actually move forward very fast.
There's a couple more comments that I would like to share. The one is the importance of social media. We chatted about how to communicate with your clients. We as homemakers have done it quite successfully, where we saw how important it is to be top of mind all the time and putting something out on your Facebook or your Instagram every day. So you must do the same, be active on your social media, and don't discard that very important platform. Then we've got Milani sharing with us in Bloemfontein. We have made contact with the Chamber, Nancy D'Souza, and we will be working with her to reach members and make plans together. That's fantastic news. And here's another comment. As a business owner, I need to plan and get a comeback strategy in place. Does HOMEMAKERS have information on business that have closed permanently? Sorry, it just moved here. I just need to get myself. As a business owner, I need to plan and get a comeback strategy in place. Does Homemakers have information on business that have closed permanently? Maybe I could offer a new service that someone else used to. So we'll have to look into that. I'm not sure if we've got those stats, but I'm sure we can gather that.
Yeah, one of the tools in our business tool section on the website that Ruben will be sharing is definitely networking and putting people in touch with each other. So if any news comes up in the industry, we will post it on there. And if you regularly visit that, you will get all the information.
Bonnie has also written a very long conversation here. Let me quickly read through it for you. Great thinking on reopening specials. The trick is going to make your offering different so that it stands out from the noise. Many companies are having opening and post-lockdown specials. Either we have to be clever about what we offer and, most importantly, how we communicate these specials. Either we have, how we communicate. Okay, I also think we shouldn't wait until opening to market our business and offer specials. So start early, start now. COVID-19 is going to be a long-term thing. We need to change our mindsets and our usual ways of working. As Ruben said earlier, we need to collaborate and we need to support one another. Yes, so start working on those specials now. People are willing to, we've seen how often people are willing to buy vouchers and get the delivery later. So this would be the same concept.
I definitely think one of the things that we should have is a long wind. I think sustainability and also sustain yourself. We saw before lockdown already that people were taking longer to make a purchasing decision. They were doing their homework really well. They were looking wide. And then they were sitting on the decision for a little bit. It's hard in cash. They really want to give it to the right service provider. So you need to be prepared to be in it for the long run. Make sure you've got that, you've got all the communication that you want to send out and spread it over a long period.
So just some feedback on some of the questions in the chat that we've had. An idea, somebody mentioned that we need to think of new ideas or products. Something I'm just thinking of offhand is when you go out to see your clients, the way you present yourself needs to look healthy. So I think it's very important for your teams, for their clothing to be clean, for the way they present themselves to look like somebody that is healthy instead of a dirty overall. So there's an opportunity there for somebody to start getting the optimal type of clothing that a person would need for your team when you go and see clients, and start marketing that to the industry. The one word that I liked that Bonnie mentioned is to collaborate. So one of the problems that we've had in our industry was you would get a lead of somebody who's interested in using your product or service, and then they don't get phoned. They don't get an email, they don't hear from you. And we have proof of that at Homemakers. On a personal level, I've phoned many suppliers in Homemakers, and on average, only 50% ever get back to me. And this was for one of our other businesses where we had big contracts that we wanted to use you. And there might be several reasons. You might get a call and you'll realize that this call is maybe in the East Rand and you function in the West Rand, and it's going to be a waste of your time to quote somebody because you don't want to operate in a radius bigger than 15 kilometers, for example. So why don't we start collaborating? Instead of seeing each other as enemies, let's hold hand, meet somebody in the other side of Joburg, and if you can't see a client there who's inquired, hand the lead over and expect that favor will be returned in the future, so that we can be more proactive and more practical in terms of how we see clients and go out there. But I really do think that we are in this together and we need to get out of this together, and not only survive it, but go from survive to thriving.
Definitely. I think one of the things that you said is very true, Ruben, that to share those links. And if you don't know somebody does something similar on the other side of town, get a hold of us, get hold of your service, your SE at Homemakers, and say, I have this lead that can be passed on to somebody else in a different part of town, or Gauteng or the Vaal or somewhere else, and let us help you facilitate and move those around. I see
Excellent.
there's some good comments from Brian again.
Yes, Brian's asking, okay, so I have 2 additional things we need to have. Number 1, we need to challenge the BNI networking model. And secondly, let's do the video introductions and share those videos via WhatsApp, which works really well.
Love that idea.
Yes.
Thank you for that. We are taking notes of everything that's happening, and also this entire conversation or webinar is being recorded. So we're making sure that everything that you are sharing with us will be used optimally. Thank you for that.
Yep. One of the things that this virus certainly did is, we all had this, one day we will still do these plans, or we should be doing this is a great idea. And come along the virus and it pulled the carpet from underneath us, and there with this luxury of now you should do it. It's not like one day anymore, it's like do this now. So all of those ideas, definitely, Brian, I think it's stuff that we should be doing now.
So I see we've got a BNA member that joined us today, Anthony Buerta. Anthony, would you like to share anything with us on how to challenge the BNA? How do we get them involved? Let's see if he is willing
Anthony,
to chat
if you're
to
willing,
us.
we can unmute your mic and we can actually give you an opportunity to say something. If we can get a thumbs up from you, maybe.
Until he's giving us his go-ahead, I can also, oh, there we go. We can give Anthony, just give us a few seconds and we'll unmute you.
Anthony, make sure that on your side, your mic is also unmuted. There you go.
There we go.
Love.
Good day, Homemakers team and all the guys listening. I've been a BNI member for about 1.5 years now, and it's a great system where you basically become part of a team where you get a sales force of like-minded business owners, and then they go out and they help promote your business. But the main thing is that you actually become a member you get vetted first, so the people get to know you and like you first before they just hand over their personal contacts to you. What the guys can do, I'll drop my email in there. You can contact me directly and I'll send out an invitation to whoever that you can join the BNI system and have a look at it.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thanks, Anthony.
We appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, one of the things that we certainly as a group is also passionate about is the vetting. Ruben has his passions about that, and it's something that he's instilled in us, that vetting is such an important aspect of what it is we do.
Yeah, you'll also pick up our clients who are on our business to consumer website. There's a vetting system there that actually shows that this has been a client in the industry for 15 years or 20 years or 5 years. And that's going to become increasingly more important for people out there. And that's going to give you that edge as well, so that people know that you have been in the industry for long, you know what you're doing, you are going to make sure that that job that you're going to do at their homes or the project that you're selling them is something of quality that they will be able to invest their money in.
Definitely.
There's one last question that came through that I think we can just discuss or talk about is if you are, I mean, we have touched on this, if you are a home improvement company that has less than 10 staff members, if there can be more, if we can, when we do approach the government with more leniency to see if they would be more lenient, if you have, if you do projects outdoor where there's nobody around you and you are mostly alone, and you are less than 10 workers, if those guys can have a little bit more leniency, if we can just sort of put that into the action plan as well.
I also think, Yohandi, something we can do is to have a action plan for people who utilize services of people who are in this industry. So in other words, when somebody come and see you, have your meeting outdoors, have sanitizer available, make sure the team is wearing masks or whatever. We'll brainstorm that a little bit so that we have protocols in place from both sides. The homeowner, to give them reassurance and peace of mind that they're following best practice, but also from all of those people who are providing products and services to them.
Yes.
Definitely.
Okay, this is the end of our questions. Is there anybody else who want to put in a last question? Bonnie has shared just an idea with us just now. Let me quickly go through it. May I suggest a Homemakers WhatsApp group for those of us on this call and other Homemakers clients? I know there are a lot of WhatsApp groups these days, but this may be a good way to not only get to know one another, each other's businesses, but also to get to know the faces behind the businesses, making it more personal and to be able to share leads and support one another. That's very nice.
It's the start of our collaborations.
Absolutely. So we will set that up, Bonnie, from our side. So we will start the group and we'll call it Unlocking the Home Improvement Industry. And if you would not like to join the group, you can just unfollow or, remove yourself from the group, but we will action that.
Great. Thank you for that.
Okay. Anybody else before we move into our close?
I'm excited to see that website.
Okay, Ruben.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I told you about the new business-to-business website. Let's just take a look here. Let me share that quickly with you. Can you all see that?
Yeah.
All right, so basically what we've done is we've created a website that is purely a business-to-business website for all of those in the home industry. I'm not going to go into too much details, but what is important for us is the business tools section. This is the part where we are going to place a summary of today's discussion, possibly even a link to this Zoom webinar that we've had. We'd love to place the policies here that we recommend for the home owners, policies here for US suppliers, and then just in general, some of the questions that you've had. What are the best selling techniques during a time like this, and things like that. And so if there's anything that you would like us to add onto the business tools section, please let us know and we'll do our research. And as a collective homemakers, we'll source the best content for you that we can place on here. Things that we want to place here in future will be practical tools on for example, lead questionnaires or lead forms and sheets to see what your closing ratios are, so that you can just keep on upskilling yourself and your business. It's really a place where you can go and then just get your tools that you need to run your business as effective and as practical as possible. So please go to the website, take a look at it, and let us know what tools you are looking for.
Yes, share your needs and ideas with us, and we'll see how we can help you and connect you.
Fantastic.
In closing, remember to sign that petition and remember to share it. That is one of our strongest things that we can do together as industry. We have to get that 10,000 aim to have a really strong petition to send to governments. Thank you.
Yes, and also keep a lookout for similar seminars that will follow, webinars that will follow. This is definitely something we aim to do more regularly and to communicate with you. And there's any special areas that you do need help on. We saw that the sales training came up, so we can see what it is that we can do to assist you on that.
Yeah, so in closing, the way forward is going to be action steps that we're going to take for you. Is we're going to draft and approve industry policy and make recommendations in terms of best practice that hopefully will help us to unlock sooner as an industry. We've got the petition, and we'd like to have a letter that we send along with the petition to government or the decision makers in terms of unlocking, both provincially and nationally. Then we'll send you updates on what's been taking place from our side on a regular basis via email, the WhatsApp group, and please on the website as well. Please go and visit it there. And then we will also be in touch with you in terms of when we can have our next webinar. We don't want to have it too often. We want this to be something that's practical, that it's not just a talk shop, but that we actually action things. So what I would recommend, as soon as we've done all the way forward, completed all those actions, Homemakers team, then we can send out another invitation to the webinar to show that we've discussed this, this is what we've done, and then we can have some other agenda points to see how we can push further. Just realize that you are not in this alone. We've walked, some of you, we've walked together in this industry for decades, and by God's grace, we will be able to continue to do so in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for attending.
Thank you.